Check out that lock shield. Look at just how much muck is in there. Yeah, I think I'm fighting a bit of a losing battle with this one. So yeah, we'll just see what happens and I'll keep you guys updated. So the job I'm here to look at today is, well, a couple of bits on this system. So firstly, it's a vaillant 637 system boiler downstairs, which is losing pressure over a couple of weeks at a time. I've just come today and it's on 0.7 bar at the moment. So I need to find out where the leak is coming from. However, it's a massive house. So if it's dropping like over a 2-3 week period, it's probably gonna be quite difficult to find. So I'm going to see what I can find if there's anything obvious, otherwise we'll look at alternative options. But the secondary issue I've been asked here to investigate is there's 3 towel rails, 2 of them are not working, 1 of them does work fine. And the way it's been piped up from what I can see here is, so I've got 2 zones, hot water zone and heating zone. Now I haven't fired up the system yet, but it looks like either that over there, I don't know where this camera's pointing. So either that or that is going to be our primary flow. So I'm going to fire up the boiler in a moment to see which is the primary flow, because as it's coming up there, it's obviously splitting down to here, and then we've got a zone valve going down. That's going to be for the radiators, and then obviously it comes up and follows it around here to the hot water side. Now if you follow that up there, it splits onto that 15mm pipe. Around the back here we've got that 15mm stub coming out there, going onto a bit of plastic pipe. So my thoughts are the towel rails are basically just on the flow circuit. They're not zoned off or anything like that. They're not on the heating circuit, they're not on the hot water circuit. So that's obviously definitely going to be a towel rail circuit, because there's a bathroom down there, which those 2 plastic pipes are going down there and then dropping. And then either that potentially might be another circuit for the towel rails, or there is actually underfloor heating here as well. So one of those may actually be going to the underfloor heating zone valve. Hopefully there's a zone valve fitted by the underfloor heating manifold. I haven't had a look at that yet, but it looks like the towel rails will be on a separate circuit to the rest of the property. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put the hot water on from here. So let's click that one. That's coming on. And I'm going to put my temperature clamps on the pipes there and see which one's getting hot. That'll tell me which is my primary flow coming up to here. So let me get that set up first. Okay, so these temperature clamps, they really do make a difference, because look, there's only about a degree or so difference in there. But if you were to put your hand on the pipe, you wouldn't be able to notice that degree difference. But this is confirming which is my primary flow coming from the boiler, which is in fact that one there at the back. So that's the primary flow coming up from the boiler. I've also got the other temperature clamp on there, but that looks like it's going to the underfloor heating manifold, which is on the ground floor next to the boiler. So that one is, the temperature on that one is also climbing, but it's not as high as that one. So because that's the higher temperature, that confirms that at the back is going to be our primary flow. So fine, we've sussed that out. Now I need to figure out what's going on with the towel rails. So next one I'm going to do now is we're going to go downstairs, and the 3 towel rails, the one that's working, I'm going to check that one. I've got my thermal imaging camera with me as well, see what's happening with the heat coming to that, and then check the other 2, find out what's going on. Possibly maybe just a blocked valve or something. The other thing in this property I've found is that all the radiators, the central heating system, is on microbore. Now, it's a massive house. I don't know why they've done it on microbore 10mm pipe or whatever, rather than running it on 15. That's obviously not helping the circulation issues, but that's separate to the towel rail. So I'm going to check the towel rails first, see what's going on there, and see if we can get them up and running for the customer today at least. What I've also just done is have a look at that temperature. So that's dropping. That's about 45, 44 degrees and dropping. Put a temperature clamp on there, which is going to the towel rail. There's no heat coming down there. So I need to find out what's going on, whether it's just a valve that's been shut off, or a valve that's broken, shut, or snapped shut. or if it's just turned off. Let's go and check that and see what's going on there. Right, so this is one of the towel rails, which is starting to get a bit of heat through it. Now what I've done to try and force the heat through it is I've actually turned off the hot water circuit, and I've just put the boiler into chimney sweep mode so that it can't go around the hot water cylinder and try and force it through the towel rails. However, this one, nothing, still stone cold, and the pipes coming out that back wall are still stone cold. And then the other towel roll, now this one is supposed to be working fine, but that one's literally just warm at the valves. No heat actually coming into it. So I wonder if it's possibly air. What I'm going to try and do, I'm going to try and turn all these off and turn on that one, that bar towel roll, and see if it forces the heat through there. There's not even an AAV or anything on that one, so I might just crack a nut, see if there's just air trapped inside it. So yeah, let me try a few things out and then see how we get on. Okay, we're getting some success with this. Thermal imaging camera doesn't really show anything because you've got a chrome plating on it. It doesn't pick up, it keeps reflecting the heat. But what I've done is I've turned off this towel roll and I've turned off the towel roll in there. Can you hear that? All that bubbling. So it was just airlocked. And now if you look at the temperature clamps, I've got 68 degrees coming in the far side. Yeah, look, listen to that. Let me try and bring that closer. So we've got 68 degrees coming out that one, 46 degrees leaving. So we've got a temperature difference of about 25 degrees at the moment. Just trying to get that balance out, but this was basically just airlocked. The bubbling seems to have stopped now. There's a couple of manual thumb vents up in the loft, so I'm going to try and bleed those, but that, having had a look at that, is definitely progress. Oh, actually, I can't actually keep my hand on it for too long now. Right, so that's working. So it was pretty much just a balancing issue, which I thought as much, but these sort of things you never know. So, and it also proves that all the zone valves are shut at the moment, and the towel rails are basically used as a bypass. So they're just, whenever you call for a heating or hot water demand, the towel rails will come on, which is absolutely fine. So now that I've got this one working, I'm going to shut that one off, and hopefully it will bring on the one in the other room, and then same again, shut that one off. And then, well, this one was starting to get warm anyway, so then hopefully it should just balance itself out. Okay, progress update. Got that one on, and this one on. Now, wetback was in here because I tried to draw, there was air in here as well, so I managed to draw it through. Again, because it's chrome plated, it doesn't show up well on the thermal imaging camera, but that's now getting hot. That is roasting. I mean, have a look at the temperatures on there. 78 on the flow, 64 on the return, 13.9 degrees difference. And this one, yeah, lovely, 50 odd degrees going across it. Obviously the bottom is taking a little bit longer, but even then, that is night and day difference to what they had before. So for the towel rails, it just seemed like it was a case of balancing, and there was air in the system. I've also found this side is weeping. You can see all the crusting on it. So I've got another towel rail valve, but it's not one exactly the same as that. This has got the little handle on it. The one I've got is without handle. So I'm going to ask the customer if he wants me to change it over for that. It's not going to match, or if he wants me to come back to swap it over for a matching set or just a matching one, because I've only got one. Sod's law. Yeah, we're going to have a chat with him, see what they want to do, and then go from there. Okay, so we're back at this job where I was sorting out the towel rails. That one was the one that was basically airlocked and it needed balancing, and got that one working. So I've got to change those towel rail valves, these towel rail valves, and we've also got these ones. So I'm going to start with this one,
I couldn't remember what towel roll valves were, whether they were 3/4 nuts or 15 mil. So I brought both of me, but yeah, I've got the right valves here. So we'll get started with these ones and then work our way through to the next ones. So the way I do this is lock off both the lock shields. They're both off on there. I've bled the towel roll to relieve any pressure that's in there. Now I'm going to crack the top nut here, drain out the towel rail, and then what I'll do, I'll spin this upside down, open the valve, and let the pressure out into the folding bucket as well. So once the pressure's out, then I can quickly swap that valve over and then do the same one on that side. So that is the colour of the water that's just come out the towel rail, and now I can see why this one was struggling to heat up, because look at all that. There's actual gunk stuck in the valves, which has probably been stopping the heat transferring into it. So change the valves over, it's definitely going to make a start, but this system definitely needs a good clean. Right, so that's that one done. What I found out afterwards is that these nuts are different size on this. Although it's 15 mil pipe, that nut doesn't go on there, so I had to change the whole nut in olive. And inside here, well, you can see the chunks that have actually come out of here, which have been blocking up the lock shield. So yeah, it's definitely a blockage in these lock shield valves. Let's take this one off and see what the condition of that one is. Check out that lock shield. Look at just how much muck is in there. Not only that, look at that. That pipe is fully blocked up. I'm actually scared to put my screwdriver in there in case I get a rush of water just flooding me, but that is bad. Right, that's those two towel rail valves changed. I'll be honest, I was not expecting that. Not that much dirt. But let's see what the rest of the ones are like. Right, that's those two done. I cannot believe the state of the water in this system. Even because the towel roll initially wasn't draining, but then like a plug of dirt came out and then just started glug. Crazy. And the problem is I can't really power flush this system because it's on microbore everywhere else. And other than the towel rails, I think the towel rails are the only ones that are on 15 mil. They've also got underfloor heating, but the radiators, can you imagine if I power flush that, if that's what's coming out the towel rails and the chunks of dirt, repipe. But yeah, those two are done. I had a little bit of trouble with this one because for some reason this seemed to stick out a little bit more, even though when I put the valves next to each other they're the same depth. So maybe how far the pipe goes inside the valve slightly different. So managed to get it on, otherwise I would have had to start trimming pipe back and stuff like that, which I really don't want to be doing. So that's done. Oh, hello. Oh, don't be scared. Come here. There we go. You all right? So now just got those two left to do. So all new towel roll valves are on. This one's getting hot. This one's getting hot. But this one in here, it's giving me a bit of trouble. And I reckon, because I've got heat, so the valve is hot. I can't keep my hand on it, but it's struggling to push it through. So considering how bad the pipework, well, considering how much dirt there was in that pipework before, I reckon I haven't got it all out and there's still dirt in that pipework and it's probably pushing against that valve and stopping it from actually flowing through the towel rail, which is going to be really annoying because like I said, everywhere else we've got microbore. So need to have a think about, have a chat with the customer, what's the best way to try and tackle this, because the size of those chunks in that dirt, I don't want to be power flushing that, because if that's blocking up 15 mil, imagine what it's going to do to microbore. So I've already spoken to the customer about that. Going to see what we can do. What
what options we've got with regards to trying to get the system clean. I mean, ideally, a repipe is what you want. You don't want to be pushing this dirt through a microbore system. There's no filter on the system anywhere or anything like that. So yeah, I'll have a chat with the customer. We'll discuss a few options and see what happens. But in the meantime, what I was here to do is done. And we've obviously discovered what the actual issue is. Yeah, so he's still struggling to get through here. And I've shut the other two towers off as well. So yeah, I think I'm fighting a bit of a losing battle with this one. So yeah, we'll just see what happens and I'll keep you guys updated.